Do either one of y'all know the genre that most elevator music is? Well, there's two genres, but I'm gonna let you. I mean, I didn't know that easy listening was considered a genre in and of itself, but well, if it is, then I give you three. If it is, then I give you the three. Go ahead. Easy listening. Soft jazz. But soft jazz and easy listening are probably the same. Yeah, probably the same thing. And guess what the other one is then? If we gonna say it's easy listening, soft jazz, same thing. Bossa Nova. Bossa Nova is the other one. Yeah. Yep. Middle American, very, very soft, very, very delicate, you know what I mean? Lots of ukuleles and whatnot. So yeah, the more you know, the more you know. Folks, this is just, I'm excited to see these two. It's been a long time since I seen my beige brothers in arms. And ever since Deezus and Mero broke up, they've been looking out for all the light skinned, dark skinned pairings in the universe, making sure that everything in the world is fair and balanced. And I'm just gonna let you know, none of us have gone Hollywood. You know what I mean? None of us have gone Hollywood. Chris is a plant manager now, so he's now dressing like a plant manager for our shows.
Relax.
But none of us have gone Hollywood at the moment. You know what I mean? We still those same three guys from Cast Tech from you know what I mean? That's who we are at the moment. You was about to say something, Josh? I mean, what you mean you the last stand? Wow. So we gotta watch out for you going. Wow. That's crazy. That's never thought I'd see today. I was always more worried about Chris going Hollywood than you, man. I was always more worried. But here we are. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm gonna say this. Chris didn't switch up when he became plant manager. So, I mean, Josh, I don't know what you're gonna do when you get the bag. I don't know how you're gonna act. I can see you acting a little different.
Well, fellas, I appreciate the love, man. I am just the interim plant manager right now, so thank you for the projection. I do plan on being a plant manager.
And Dan Campbell was the interim head coach of the Dolphins. Now look at him. Got everybody wanting to bite kneecaps and tread water.
Yeah. I get it. I appreciate that, fellas. For our listeners, I've been going through a lot at work. I'm also in the middle of moving homes. I'm moving to somewhere in Massachusetts where I am located right now. So bear with us. We're going to get this pod out there for y'all best way we can. Ignore my background. I know it's junky behind me. I'm trying to cover it up as best I can, but we're going to get y'all this episode. We're going to get y'all a good episode today.
I'm going to tell you, Facts Over Acts listeners is tough because they be cooking our backgrounds. They be cooking the hell out of us, boy.
Somebody
like every episode. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Somebody said in the comments, what years be doing with all them canes back there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, why y'all be on this so tough? Like, worry about yourself, buddy. Worry about yourself, all right? Don't worry about what Facts Over Acts do. What Blueface say? Chase a bag. Don't worry about what I'm doing. But anyway,
right.
We got some good stuff coming up for y'all today, man. We have a ton of very high quality stuff for y'all today. The NBA offseason is ramping up. LeBron is getting the bag. KD is he the Slim Reaper? Is he the Slim Weeper? Because there's a whole lot of crying going on. There's debates about whether or not he's going to retire, whether or not they got to get rid of Sean Marks and Steve Nash. So we're going to get into all of that and more, as well as who the most interesting folks in the preseason have been so far on today's episode of Facts Over Acts. That sound like a good show to y'all?
Great show.
Alrighty, well, what's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Acts crew. We got the master, the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building. We got the money man, the man playing, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here.
And then you got the little old MC that is me, Ken Gibbs. We got to do two things before we get into the show. Number one, don't forget the Pod Pickup Challenge is about to start. We are that close. There's only 3 weeks of preseason football. You don't got a whole month to ramp up no more. So just letting y'all know, if you want a chance to turn your $30 into $1,000, You better keep coming to Facts Over Action. You better get subscribed. You better tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe to. All you got to do is beat all three of us and picking 3 to 5 games a week, and that's how we going to get that done. And the would you rather. Fellas, which one would you rather have as far as an infestation goes? 100 snakes, 250 rats, 1,000 roaches.
Man, I'm going 1,000 roaches. Easy.
Yeah, that's not bad, bro. Roaches, I mean, yeah, they nasty, and it means you got some nasty stuff in your house. But snakes or rats? Come on, Gibbs. Come on, Gibbs.
Here's my thing. The roaches you can get rid of. I feel like roaches is the least inconvenience. Like you can get you a couple of roach bombs. You could hire an exterminator. You could do all kind of stuff to get rid of roaches.
Bruh, wait a minute. To get rid of them, snakes are the easiest.
100?
That you don't think that's easy? Bruh, you're out of your mind if you think they're not. Snakes they're cold-blooded, my boy. They're cold-blooded. Okay. If you turn your heat all the way down, like roaches don't like heat, sure. But like snakes and reptiles die. There's no they're done. They're done for. Like there's no, I'm just saying. They, but anyway. So
who gonna come in and clean up 100 snakes after you leave the crib for a day and they all dead?
Bro, what? You can call somebody to do it. Call animal control. Yo, animal control, it's 100 snakes in my crib. Come get them. And then when they see they dead too, they can be like, oh my God, this is the easiest job I've ever done. Like, this is great. But you got to make sure they count 100 though, because you'll be sick if you thought you killed them all. And again, like, you on your toilet one day and like a giant boa constrictor come out of nowhere. Hey, bud, what you doing? You good over there? All right, just checking on you.
Not gonna lie to you though. Snakes be having a bunch of disease though in them.
Oh, absolutely.
Snakes 100%. And rats both.
100%. But what we discussed off air, which we got to talk about this on there too. With any one of these, like any one of them, your chances with the shorties are destroyed. That's just the reality. You know what I mean? If a shorty come over to your crib and she see a roach, even if you got the cleanest crib in the world and it just so happened to be you just live on the first floor in an apartment complex and it's just like one of them days and the roach just scurried on in there, you still beat. Cool. You know what I mean? You the dude with roaches from now on. Like, she changing your name in her phone to Richie Roach immediately.
Honestly, I don't know. It was 3. If it was just one of them, I think you might be able to get away with a rat the most.
What?
I think you might be able to get away with a rat.
I think that's the one that multiply too fast.
That's
bro.
The one that bring the. I think that's the one that bring the least judgment, though.
Huh? What?
Because roaches, I feel like you gotta have a dirty crib to have roaches, bro. Like to have.
Bro, a snake is not bringing judgment. A snake is not bringing judgment.
But how do you get a snake in your crib?
That's what I'm saying. A snake, somebody might be like, yo, like, you a little off balance, bro. Like, why is there a snake in your crib? And he'd be like, I swear to God, I did not buy a snake. I don't know where this thing came from.
Or if it's just one, you can try to pass it off like it's a pet or something, but it got loose.
That's what I'm saying. One snake is cool. Like, that's not bad. Yeah, but like one rat, you're done.
We didn't say mice. We said rats.
Rats.
He didn't say mice. He said rats.
Because rats are a different breed from mice. Like,
I only seen a handful of rats in my whole life, bro.
Yeah, it's a different.
Yeah, I live out here in the Northeast, bro. You go to New York.
Them rats are different.
Them rats is little Yorkies. They rats is little Yorkies. No cap.
Boy, you remember that the video of the rat pulling the pizza up a flight of stairs? Yeah. I said, bro, why the pizza look so little? That's a New York style joint, bro. Why the pizza look so small? But anyway, we got to get into some actual sports talk now, fellas. So we got KD, and he came out saying that he would not retire. He came out, so he confirmed that. He said that he was not retiring. However, he did not confirm or deny reports that he requested that it was either going to be he stays and Sean Marks and Steve Nash leave, or they get rid of him and keep Nash and Marks. So, fellas, what do you think the final resolution of this situation will be? Will KD stick to his guns and, they got to get rid of somebody, or what do you think is the deal here?
Man, Here's what's happening. I know this gonna sound crazy considering how skilled some players on the Brooklyn Nets are. Um, but here's what's going to happen. Next season, about about 8 months from now, we're gonna be gearing up towards the playoffs. And we look at that playoff and in the play-in bracket, we not gonna see Brooklyn in either one. KD is staying on the Nets. The Nets holding sticking to their guns. They not making any changes. And the chemistry and the aura around that team is going to be so bad, and players aren't going to want to play there, and they're not going to be able to make any moves during the season to get players there because of what's going on. The Nets not making the playoffs. And Steve Nash is going to be the coach, and Kevin Durant is going to be on that roster, and Kyrie Irving is going to be on that roster.
So you said next year or the year after?
This upcoming season.
This upcoming season.
This
Okay.
upcoming season.
Okay.
Because even if you are trying to make a deal for the Nets, either the Nets want too much, or you a team that's not willing to give up a lot for. Although you could still make the argument that he's one of the most skilled offensive players in the league. How much are you willing to give up for a 34-year-old Kevin Durant?
He 34?
KD is 34.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hate that for him.
He's 32. Yeah, I thought he's 32. But...
Hate that for him. Chris, what you got, man? What do you think is gonna happen here?
Well, that's a hot take by Guyton. That's a hard.
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna miss the playoffs outright with both of them. Like that's you got to be a different level of bad.
Yeah, man. Listen, bro. They picked up Bubble T.J. Warren, which I know he was cold in the bubble, but he ain't never did nothing outside the bubble. But he's a solid hooper. They still have Kyrie Irving. They still have Kevin Durant. In addition, you're adding Benjamin Simmons, who could play the 1 through 5.
Is he playing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Benjamin. The way he been acting
playing last year.
The way he been acting on socials,
he got to
play
at some point in time.
The way he got set up, dressed like a Saints Row character on the bench.
Listen. I agree with you, guy. I agree with you, but he had surgery on that back. He got his mental together, taking that season off. Philly gave him some of the money back because they realized it was mental health stuff that he was going through. I think Ben Simmons comes back in a big way. You can say ill bid all you want, Tubbs, in the chat. But Ben Simmons, when he's on the floor and fully healthy, he's the number 1, 2, or 3 and best defenders on the planet. He's also a great playmaker. He just doesn't like to score the ball as much. However, you have two of the best scorers we've ever seen in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So how much does he really have to score the ball? Scoring was never the Nets' problem. Defense was. Yep. Defense and rebounding was always their problem. Ben Simmons cures that sickness they have by himself alone. And then you add T.J. Warren, who is not a great defender, but a solid defender and an offensive weapon. And then not to mention, you signed back a lot of you got Seth Curry, another shooter. You signed back a couple other players that you had last year. Joe Harris will be back from injury. So now you got Ben Simmons at the 5 with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, and Joe Harris. Come on now. That team is for sure in the playoffs. And they're not a play-in team either. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 3 seed, but they're for sure making the playoffs if they currently construct it, if they go into the season like this.
I know that Ben is capable of playing center defensively. Is your team going to be good if Ben Simmons is playing center defensively? Like, that's my only question. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, Ben does have a lot of defensive versatility, but that's a tall order.
I agree with you, but think about it like this, bro. This is not the 90s or the 2000s, Gibbs. How many big men really play back to the basket in the league right now? I count fair. 2.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I give you that. Well, listen, I'm gonna say this. I think that this situation is gonna be a whole lot of hoopla about nothing because of Rudy Gobert and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves broke the market. And
well,
you know,
if we're using the Timberwolves as a standard, then we probably should realize that.
That's the thing. It's like when a barber. It's like when your barber cut a celebrity hair, and now all of a sudden your cut just went from 25 to 60. It's like, you never acted like this before Quavo sat in your chair. What is you doing?
And then they would have hit you with yesterday's price is not today's price. Bro, line my beard up.
That's like my brother in Christ, Quavo has braids. You just gave him a lineup. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I blame Jalen Rose for that. No disrespect, but I blame Jalen Rose for that. Cause I know exactly what guy you talking about. I know exactly what guy you talking about.
All I'm saying is this, man. The market is too messed up, and I don't think that any team is going to want to give what they want for the players that they're trying to trade away. So I think that everything is going to be, they just going to have to stay together and be just ill fit for each other for the time being. However, I'm not sure. I'm with Chris. I think there'll be a playoff team. I think they'll be bottom of the East playoffs. And I think, and I want to just point out something real interesting. If I'm the Nets, I'm trading away Kevin Durant for not much, for what appears to be not much, but for what actually would be much if you really think about it. Like if you really put in context of what you'd be getting back. What do I mean by that? The reality is I'm not asking for a Rudy Gobert-esque package. Because the Minnesota Timberwolves got swindled. I mean, there is no way under God's green earth that the Jazz GM didn't hang up the phone and immediately say, "Hey, turn on that young Scooter, man. Hey, I need turn on that Gucci finesse the plug. Turn on young Scooter jug finesse right now."
But if it's ever a team to do it, it's not going to be Minnesota. But if Minnesota sees success with these two bigs somehow, do you think that's going to change the league? Because we haven't seen two bigs this big play side by side since. It's been a minute.
But these two are not the typical bigs.
He play with in Portland. Yeah. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I mean, these two are not your typical bigs. If you look at Cat's offensive game, it has become more and more reliant on the three ball. That like the older he's gotten, the more he has gotten up out of the paint. Yes, he still does post up. Yes, he still does get on the block some. But the older he's gotten, the more that he's gone to pick and pop. The more that he's gotten to running plays where it's like, all right, they're going to run a motion for Ant that's going to have him standing in the corner or something like that. Like,
right.
This is not a traditional, like, oh, it's a big guy with a kind of feathery touch and a defender. Like, no, this is the greatest three-point shooting big of all time. You know what I mean? Like, he got his three-point trophy to validate it, too. So, they're the greatest three-point shooting big of all time here.
I don't know. I'm still taking Brad Miller.
Hey, man, knock it off. Knock it off. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. But anyway, I think that the market is too bad right now. You know what I mean? It's like the housing market, what we just saw at the 5-6 months ago, before like everybody was like, bro, I'm not paying 500 racks for a townhome in Raleigh, when everybody's like, yeah, we just gonna keep driving the prices up. The exact same thing. Like the market is too bad. These teams aren't gonna want to give that for KD and Kyrie. You know, they'll be there. They'll be there. I do think that they're going to be a bad team, though. Like, I think that they won't be anywhere near what their potential should be and what the sum of their parts say they should be.
Wait. Let me paint a picture for y'all, bro. Let me paint a picture for y'all. You saying Kyrie Irving on a contract year when he wants a long-term deal, and Kevin Durant when he realizes that the value of his trade value has gone down because of his age and because teams don't think he's worth all that what the Nets are asking. You think they are going to have a year where they middle of the pack team? Mind you, COVID restrictions aside, monkeypox restrictions aside, because we don't know what that situation going to be. But you telling me that you don't have the faith in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving when they got a chip on their shoulders and they got a reason to play hard this year? Not to mention Ben Simmons allegations as well.
You know, all three of us are from Detroit. I want to reference a famous group out of Detroit to answer your question. The Winans family, a beautiful family of singers with a beautiful voice. And I believe that they made the song, what is it? No. The question is, will this, like, I don't think that people understand really understand how bad last year's team was. With Harden, Simmons hurt and out, Kyrie and KD all playing. I believe that Kyrie played all the games last year. Or am I wrong there?
No, Kyrie.
And I'm talking about it. I'm talking about in the playoffs and like later in the season.
Yeah.
He did play all the games. Okay, so he played all the games in the later
Harden
parts.
wasn't there and Ben Simmons wasn't there.
Well, yeah, they weren't there at the same time, no. But they were traded for one another, so we all know what's going on there. That team reached the exact same. And when I say exact same, actually, I might be wrong here. Let me double check this. Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The 2018-2019 Nets, before these three got there, reached more success. The big three of D'Angelo Russell, Jared Allen, and Karis LeVert won more playoff games than Kyrie and KD. So,
Wait, that's last year. The year before that, if KD wore our size shoe, he would have been in the finals.
What size shoe does KD wear?
Over 15, over 16.
All right, well, if he were over 16, yeah, he got me beat. But the reality of the matter is, even if we talk about the year before that, they went to the second round. Like, what
They
are we
lost
doing
in a
here?
game 7 with no Kyrie and James Harden. And Kevin Durant dropped a 48-point triple-double. Come on now, 48, 16, and 10. Come on now, we're not doing that.
For our Facts Over Acts listeners who are listening to the podcast and can't see me, I'm playing the world's smallest violin right now. The fact of the matter is, I don't care about the labor pains. Just show me the baby. Ain't nobody trying to hear, the only reason the Lions ain't won a playoff game since 97 was because they got hosed in Dallas. Nobody want to hear that. They're just going to say they haven't won a playoff game since 97. I don't care. Oh, if his shoe was a little bit smaller, too bad it's not. If Kyrie was healthy,
an excuse. I'm not making an excuse.
Listen, I'm not saying you're making excuses. What I'm saying is we have to live in the reality of what is, not what could be. You know what I mean? And like the reality is, although it's unfair, and yes, it's not a situation where that team was 100% healthy. I'm not gonna sit up here and look anybody in the face and say, "Oh yeah, KD, he was by himself and he did that 2 years younger." Mind you, he's going to be 34 years old with lower extremity problems at 7 feet tall, and we're expecting him to be that guy again, to be anything close to that guy again. I caution you Chris, I know you got a lot of money to blow. Do not go betting on these Nets. Don't go do it.
I don't even bet no more, man.
I was just about to say, if you want to throw your money away, I got 100 better ways that you could do it. I got 100 better ways that you could do it. To betting on these Nets to be a top 4 seed. I got 100 better ways that you could do it than that. So, but again, I don't think that the Nets get rid of anybody. But honestly, if somebody had to go, if you were the Nets, who would you get rid of?
If I'm the Nets, no, if I'm the Nets, I'm trying to flip KD and Kyrie. In this market, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can get you a pretty big rebuild. It might take you a couple of years, but you could get so many picks and so many young pieces and so much capital and so much money that'll set you up for the future. And honestly, if you got the right pieces and he's healthy and he wants to play, as much as we talk about him on this show, Ben Simmons is still young enough to be a decent enough core piece around some younger players to where you can do some good damage.
I'll tell you what, if I was the Nets, I would get rid of all 3 of these stars. All 3 of them. Roundhouse them.
Not bad either.
Go to wherever y'all want to go around the league. I do not care. Y'all will not be here. I'm going to go to the first team I'm going to go to is the Thunder. Listen, I'll give y'all multiple of these. Give us some of the draft picks y'all got. Y'all got about 20 draft picks in the next 2 years. Give us a few of them. Give us some of the best ones. Unprotected, because, of course, I'm giving you 2 of the best scorers in the game, or I'm giving you some combination of one of the best scorers and best defenders in the game.
3 picks and get him.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. I'll throw KD in there and say, listen, give me Chet and 3 picks. Give me Chet, Giddey, 3 picks. And let's see what we can do. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the Thunder would say no because like they're future focused. But I mean, if I'm gonna get kicked out in the first round anyway,
I don't see the Thunder giving up both.
If I'm gonna get kicked out in the first round anyway, take him. Do your best. Do your best with him. Do what you want to do.
Best team is I'm offering Kyrie and Ben for a first round pick, so I can get in the Victor sweepstakes. Exactly.
And I was just about to say, not just Kyrie and KD. If the Thunder don't want to poke it up, who will offer us the best deals for these three? We could package them together, or we could sell them off individually. However y'all want to do it, we'll do it that way. But those three got to.
I personally would sell them all individually. And I agree with you, Gibbs. I would get rid of all three of them. First things first, Ben got age on his side, and Ben is also proven that he could be a top 3 defender in the world. Sometimes top 1 defender in the world. So what I would do is, whatever team lacks defense, give me all of your immediate assets for Ben Simmons. You know what team that is? A lot of teams on the West Coast, like Denver. You give me Michael Porter Jr. and 2-3 picks, you could have Ben.
Yeah.
You could put him and Jamal Murray with Jokic, and now you got defense. But now I got Michael Porter Jr. and I got some picks because y'all injury prone.
Go ahead and throw them on over to Portland. See what you can get out of Portland for them.
Exactly.
Because you know Portland got a little bit of something from the Pelicans too that they could. Hey.
Exactly. There you go. Or and then if I'm looking at KD options, what team will KD be good on, but won't hurt me in the future? You know what I mean? Because KD, to me, he still got 3 years where he's going to play for titles. He's going to be in any team he on, he can be title contention, right? So what team do I think won't hurt me in that 3-year span? You know what I mean? Because, let's be honest. Even if KD only give me 25 and 7, he's still going to be like a number 2 option on a championship team. Like, let's be honest.
I don't think KD is in that window anymore of any team he's on as a championship contender. But proceed.
So that the team I was going to say is, hey, Lakers, give me Street Clothes Davis. Straight up for KD. Give me Street Clothes Davis straight up for KD. Because if I know one thing, I know at least he's locked into a max deal long term, and he got a chip on his shoulder where he has to be healthy if he wants to keep getting paid in this league. And Brian and KD old.
I don't know.
Exactly. And Brian and KD getting old. So in 3 years, I probably ain't got to worry about the Lakers, because it's no way Brian play. If Brian plays like this at 41, I might sell all my assets and buy stock in LeBron James because he's not human. He's not human. If he plays like this at 41, I promise y'all. So that right there, that the next 3 years, that ain't gonna hurt me. Yeah, the Lakers might win now, but I'm rebuilding now anyway. That ain't gonna hurt me. And then you know what I do, Kyrie? Where Kyrie would hate going?
Oh, don't say you're shipping to Boston. Don't.
No. He already been there, done that. You know where I'm gonna send Kyrie?
Where?
Toronto. Somewhere where he'd hate. San Antonio or something like that. Somewhere where Kyrie would be miserable.
Hey, Pop would not put up with bro. Pop is not going.
I'm sending Kyrie to the most miserable place possible. Because the way he's acted to a Nets organization that freed him from Boston and treated him with nothing but the team he chose and convinced KD to go to with, he's handled this situation terribly. So I'm going to get the best deal from I'm sending him to Sacramento.
I knew Sacramento was going to come up. I knew they was going to come up.
I'm sending him to the worst place, worst situation possible. Somewhere where he never going to get team games on TV.
That man said you is not going to be nowhere but on the local network. That is it. You are going to be on Sacramento 7. That's it. It. You don't extend.
Fox Sports Sacramento.
You're not extending to North Cal. You are not dropping into Southern Cal. You just got that one little area. That's it. That's all you got, my boy.
He got games in 2 zip codes.
Ooh, Sacramento and Bakersfield. That's it. That's all you got, baby.
Hey. Or even one worse, send him to Orlando. Kyrie with all them young guys, he'd lose his mind. He'd lose his mind.
Hate that for him. I absolutely would hate that for him. So, okay, I think I think that we all came to the consensus that not too much is going to happen here. But speaking of things happening, LeBron James becomes the highest earning NBA player ever in terms of salary, crossing the $500 million mark with this new 2-year $97 million with a player option on the back end. I just love how like these star players keep putting player options on the back end, because it's like, yeah, like even if I'm mid, I'ma just come back. Y'all just gonna have to pay me the 50. What you gonna do about it? Like that's just where we at with it. What's up? Beautiful, beautiful, good for them. Love it for them, fellas. What do y'all think about this deal to LeBron?
I think it just cemented the fact that LeBron is putting roots in LA. I don't know what that has to do with Bronny's future, but I do think it has a lot to do with LeBron's like post NBA plans. We already see so many things that he got in production. I think he's just thinking long term as far as his post playing career and his family's career. I don't think it's too much to read into. Honestly, I think it's crazy the Lakers paid. It's not crazy that the Lakers paid that much, but I do think it's going to be hard for him to contend if they don't have a healthy team or retool within that time period.
When is does anybody know when Russell Westbrook's contract is up?
One more year. He just extended the player option.
Yeah, the player option. He got $47 million for the player option this year. He done after this year.
Okay. Good for them. Good for them. All right, Chris, what do you think? What do you think of this deal, man?
It's smart on the Lakers' behalf. I mean, it keeps you, the Lakers, it keeps you in the mix. It keeps you relevant. Because as soon as you lose LeBron, you know you go to rebuild. Every team LeBron's been to had to go through growing pains when he left. Even Miami, that's a historically great franchise, great organized and professionally ran franchise. They had to go through some growing pains losing LeBron. So that being said, the Lakers did the right thing market-wise. However, if you don't change that roster, I hate to break it to you. Ain't much gonna come long term from that.
I agree, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it a step further, and some people are not gonna like to hear me say this. I think that LeBron's window for being in the space of as long as he's on your team, you're in championship contention. I think that window doesn't extend beyond maybe this year, maybe. And like people talk about, well, he was on the Lakers last year and they didn't even make the playoffs. So like, what do you think? I don't think that people properly put in context how bad that Lakers team was. There was an 11-game stretch, where one of two things happened: either LeBron scored 50+ points or the Lakers lost. Like there was an 11-game stretch where that was the case. Now,
I mean, are they not bringing out the same roster this year?
Yeah, they are.
Much. Yeah. But that is my problem here, because last year the Lakers were snake bitten in terms of injuries, and you were like, oh man, like this is tough. You know, it won't always be like this. Hopefully. But the reality is, you could be looking at another year like that.
Here's what I think will be different for the Lakers this year that a lot of people don't take into effect. Okay, Russell Westbrook is in a situation where if he doesn't perform this year, he may not sniff more than $10 million for the rest of his career. A year.
Yeah,
that being said, he has no choice but to buy into whatever his best asset is. If that is being a playmaking role player, if that is being a second unit leader, he has to buy into that now. He's in the position right now that Kemba Walker was in Boston, where if he doesn't perform this year, he may never see more than $10 million a year again. And Russell Westbrook is 2 years younger than Kevin Durant. Put that into perspective.
Honestly and truly, I think the idea of Russ as a second-team leader is like absolutely amazing. That's an absolutely phenomenal idea. Because at this point, if he does not commit to being a serviceable to good defender, he's a net negative. Again, there were too many times last year. If you look at the box score, you see, yes, he did good things offensively last year. Sure. If you actually watch the games, you will see not only in the box score where guards lighten them up, but like if you watch how the guards were lighting them up, it wasn't like they were just cooking them with the craziest moves that you've ever seen. It wasn't like you was like, Patty Mills gave him 40 on Christmas. Oh, he must have been in a different bag. No, he was just running around screens and just like Russ was like,
taking shots.
I ain't really feeling like chasing, bro. Like, it's Christmas. I'm trying to be home with my kids. Why would y'all do this to me? Like, that's what the situation was. So, to me...
And to Russ's credit, he did go back home where he picked up a lot more distractions. A lot more. This was the first year you could tell Russell Westbrook wasn't himself mentally, to me. Any other year you look back, you could look at historical film. Any other year you look back, Russell Westbrook was the one player 110% every night. Last year, you didn't get that feeling from him.
I feel that. My only rebut to that, my only problem with that idea is at the end of the day, this isn't college. This ain't high school. You're getting paid. Your children's children may not have to work if your family just manages that money right. Like, don't even gotta build on it or do nothing crazy. Just manage it right. Just manage it. And they'll never have to work again. My brother in Christ, you gotta show up, period. You got to show up and show out. You're not getting paid vet minimum money. You know what I mean? Like on Carmelo deal, hey, bro, show up when you want. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna really hold you over no 1.5, 7.5, whatever. Bro, you're getting 40. You're what? Anywho. I think that this, again, I don't think that LeBron is going to be in that category of like, if you give him a serviceable team, they'll be in the championship conversation that much longer. And last year's team wasn't serviceable. And again, I've said this time and time again, if Russ want to play defense, they got a shot. If not, that's tough. That's tough. He's one of the most, and the interesting thing about Russ, when you talk about him, he's one of the most polarizing and controversial players in the game because it's rare that you find people that are like, I mean, he's really good, or like, he's a little below average. It's either like they love him or they hate him. And another player that falls in that category for another sport is Antonio Brown. Fellas, Antonio Brown said that the biggest regret of his career, of Antonio Brown's career, where he got kicked off the Steelers for recording post-game huddles and things along those lines, where he got kicked off the Raiders and lost $30 million. And in the process called Mike Mayock a cracker. Got kicked off the Bucks in the middle of a game and sprinted out of the of Meadowlands Stadium shirtless. Or sprinted out of the field, rather, shirtless. He said that his biggest regret ever was that he never got to see himself play live in real time. Which has drawn a lot of questions about how good is he all time. So, how good do y'all think he is all time with everything about him considered? How good do you think he is?
Okay, so I want to start it with two things. One, as somebody over the past year, we can say this on a Clean Rated show now because it's legal. As somebody over the past year that has started to indulge in cannabis a lot more, I can guarantee you that Antonio Brown was off some of the finest greenery where he said that quote. Because you got to be blowed for that to make sense. For the sake of professionalism, I'm not going
100%.
For the sake of professionalism, I'm not going to incriminate either one of you because I don't know if either one of you partake in that. However,
I don't at all.
Both of y'all have played sports.
Yeah.
It would make sense if you could watch yourself. That'll be fire.
I mean, listen, I was a bad dude when I played. I was, you know what I mean? I got down. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't have many regrets in my career because I really was like, and this wasn't even about Antonio Brown because when I was playing, he wasn't this guy. But there were other guys like him in the past. There were other guys, and I'm not going to say his name, but there was a receiver that was like in the Michigan high school ball circuit and all that when I was coming up. One of the baddest receivers that we had ever seen play. One of the baddest receivers we ever saw play. But was a lot like He was Antonio Brown before Antonio Brown. All the off-field issues, all that type of stuff. And I looked up and I thought about the fact that the last year that guy played, he was still cooking corners like it was nothing. But it was just too much stuff off the field. And I always told myself, if I'm going to be done, if I'm going to get retired out of this game earlier than I think, without a gold jacket, without playing in the NFL, it won't be because of me.
Right.
It won't be because of me, right? So I don't have no regrets from that regard, right? Like my Achilles, both of them tore, my bicep tore. I don't have no regrets about, making it, it being my fault. But even still, I got some things that I look at in my career that I'm like, I mean, yeah, not getting to see me play in real time was cool, but like, there were other things that's like, I probably would have did this play a little different. I probably would have did this a little different,
Which is why I guarantee you that man was heavily medicated when he said that.
That's fair. That's fair. Chris, what do you think about this take, man? Where does Antonio Brown rate for you all time? Where does he go?
So I'm a Steelers guy, everybody knows, but peak Steelers years, Antonio Brown was neck and neck with being the number 2 or number 3 receiver in the league. Correct? Am I totally out of this world saying that?
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay.
Not at all.
So what that means to me is, Antonio Brown, that's an ideal situation. An ideal situation where you are thriving in a role, so we're going to keep you in that role and keep increasing your responsibility until you tap out. Antonio Brown, for you to say your biggest regret is that you didn't get to watch yourself play, you just admitted to the world you probably didn't watch much film. Because isn't that what cameras are for? So you can watch yourself play?
You are not wrong, my boy.
You're not lying.
You are not.
He meant real time, but also
I think he meant real time. I think he watched film.
I sure he meant real time, but unless you're gonna clone yourself and really just stand on the sideline and watch yourself, the only way you can watch yourself in full motion is on a camera behind film.
Yeah.
He might pull a Danny Phantom trick. We don't know. Like Guyton said, he might be heavily medicated. I think you said greenery. I don't do greenery, but I think he's stronger than that. I honestly,
it might have been.
It might have been Franklin Saints product. Might have been Franklin Saints product.
Yeesh.
But where he is all time. So it's funny to me because athletes make all this money, man, and it's like, why throw it all away, And then they want to talk about, well, my legacy still lives. No, it doesn't. When they strip you of that money and strip you of that title as a star NFL player, your legacy goes with it. You can't name me one superstar that had off-the-court issues or on-the-court issues that we remember his entire career, the goods and the bads, over the stuff that happened on the court or off the court. You can't name it.
And you know what's crazy? Latrell Sprewell was a dog. And
Right.
all everybody remembers, hey, ain't that the guy that choked out PJ Carlismo?
Exactly. And I hate to use this example, even OJ. Even OJ. Like, he could be top 5 player ever. And he beat that case. But you know what you think about? Rappers still have him to the... Everybody still has him in rap bars. I beat the case like OJ. So I don't want to hear that no more. My legacy still live up. No, it doesn't. Your legacy dies when you did the incident that happened.
Yeah. To me, I think you got to put him as a top 15 receiver of all time. I think you got to put him as a top 15.
Which is a question I had really quickly. So around the time of like AB's apex, I wasn't watching football as much as I usually do for like a 2-3 year span.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening, I forget what I was listening to, but they were making an argument that like a couple of people that were like football, they were like heavily involved in football. A couple of them had AB ahead of Larry Fitzgerald all the time. Like just purely based off skill set. And was AB really a dog like that at his apex?
Now, let me say this. when you talk about Antonio Brown, I think that his ability to cut and not lose speed is something that's like one of like that's it's not one of one because we've seen it before, but it's rare. It's extremely like that's a generational or like maybe 2 to 3 players per generation have that. He was one of them. He could just when he was running at his top speed, he would make a cut on the route and barely slow down. Like that was just like.
And not to mention, he was a 6th round pick too, guy. You gotta remember that.
Yeah,
when you a 6th round pick and you come into the league doing stuff like that, you instantly stand up.
But even coming out of Central Michigan, everybody knew he was not supposed to be a 6th round pick. That was not supposed to be a 6th round pick. However, his attitude and who he was off the field is the exact reason he was a 6th round pick. So, like, don't get me wrong. Antonio Brown was like that. But to put him ahead of Larry Fitzgerald is crazy.
I seen these people were former college players. I think it was a former pro in there. They had him ahead of Larry Fitzgerald. They had him ahead of Marvin Harrison.
Let me lead this to you. Let me lead this to you flatly. Larry Fitzgerald has more career tackles than he does drop passes.
That's crazy.
That man never played a down of special teams. When his QBs got picked off, he was more reliable to go make the tackle than it was a defense to say, Larry self-check, bro. He gonna drop this one.
He did have Carson, though, didn't he?
He had Carson, a 40-year-old Kurt Warner, and
He had some high pick throwers, though. He did.
Who were the other guys? Who were the other guys? The other guys were Matt Leinart.
Listen.
I'm
not taking.
What you're saying? Okay, so what you're saying is the quarterback threw so many picks. Okay, I got it.
He had a lot of chances to throw some, get some tackles. His QBs used to be pick machines.
All I'm saying is this. In nearly every career stat, it's not like Antonio Brown and Larry Fitzgerald are like in the same stratosphere. Watch this. I got their stats pulled up. All right, so Larry Fitzgerald is the number 2 receiver of all time in terms of receiving yards of 17,492. Guess where Antonio Brown comes in on the all-time list?
Probably 15, 16.
I was going to say lower than that. I was going to say 32.
Close, 24.
Okay. We both used.
If you think about it, that's kind of crazy considering he didn't play. He didn't
that
really
long.
play that long compared to like how long Larry played.
What?
How many seasons AB give you?
AB
got 11.
11?
Or 10 or 11. Yeah, he played 10 or 11 seasons.
I swear I don't remember AB. At the same time, it's a football knowledge gap for me.
Yeah, but again, Larry did play longer. Yes, absolutely. Larry played for 16 years, for sure. Not gonna knock him. Not gonna say that didn't happen. But again, there are 22 spots apart in terms of receiving yards. In terms of receiving touchdowns, Larry is number 6 with 121. Guess where Antonio Brown ranks?
Say 21.
Chris, give it a shot.
19, 18.
Josh was closer again. 24 with 83.
Wow. Really?
In terms of all-time receptions, Larry Fitzgerald, number 2 of all time, 1,432. Give me a guess at where Antonio Brown is.
I think he's lower. I'm gonna say about say 31.
Chris, give me a guess.
I'm gonna say 25.
Chris was closer on this one. He is 21 with under 1,000. Like, this should not be close. That should not be a conversation.
But they were talking in terms of like just pure skill. Like
if you're talking about so here's the thing. If you're telling me you're using these players in Madden, which one would you rather want? Prime Larry, prime AB. I'm probably going AB. Because in video games, speed matters more, all that good stuff, whatever. But like, even if you're saying like, oh, for a season, in real life, you got to go with one of these guys for a season, and like, you don't got to deal with whatever they were just for their best season. That's what you get. I'm still going to go Larry Fitzgerald because I know that he's not going to be a problem in terms of, oh God, he's not getting the ball. He's melting down on the sidelines. Oh God, what is happening with Larry? Like that's something you've never seen from Larry. And people forget that Cardinals team that went to the Super Bowl. Either one of y'all, name me another player that was on that roster as far as offense goes.
I mean, the quarterback, the only one I know.
Who was the quarterback?
Johnson, right?
Who was the quarterback?
Man, that was a while ago, Gibbs.
Exactly.
Was Kurt Warner the quarterback of this?
Yes, Kurt
Yeah, I
Warner
was
was the
about to say
quarterback.
Kurt.
It
I
was
was about to
Kurt
say Kurt.
Warner.
And was that Chris Johnson, or was that before
That's when
he
they-
went to Arizona?
I believe that was before that. I believe they had Douglas.
That was when they played the
Douglas
Steelers,
Hightower.
right? That was
Oh,
when they played
yeah,
the Steelers,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
They played the
yeah.
Steelers, yeah.
But that's
I know that
my
Steelers
point.
roster really good. I can't think of the Cardinals roster though.
But that's my point. Like this team, that he went on a historic run in those playoffs. He put that team on his back and took them to the Super Bowl as a wide receiver. That's something we've never seen before. Anquan Bolden was a dog on the other side of him. Let's not take away anything from him.
yeah.
But those were the only, like that was it. So to say, oh, the player who has done more, the player who's like, that's, stop it. Get some help. Get some help. And again,
I don't think it's close either. But
here's the biggest thing that says like, all right, this is why I'm not really going to take this conversation too serious. Antonio Brown played in the system where they found ways to get him the ball at all costs. Because again, the man would just moan and complain any point in time when he was not getting the ball. Larry never did that and is still up there in terms of like, you go best season for best season. Larry is in that same stratosphere for almost everything. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What? Come on. Knock it off. Knock it off. Stop it. Get some help. Get some help. To say that he's better than Larry, again, if I got to go one game, and I know I'm not going to have to, like, again, this is a simulation. I don't got to deal with none of their personalities, sure. And then if you dare to factor in, like, who was more reliable, who was actually there for the team, who never actually had to get cut or anything like that, come on, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's not even, it's that, you know. AB is an all-time great. Again, I said he'd be a top 15 receiver. I'm not saying he's a slouch and a scrub that, you know, you couldn't pay me to put him on my team, but stop it. He's not up there with Larry Legend. And then this is our last take on another player who has been growingly controversial. Boy, I tell you what, this episode has featured a lot of controversy. Fernando Tatis Jr. suspended 80 games for PED use. Chris, give me your take on this. You the baseball guy. You the guy that played baseball in college. Talk to us.
you know, baseball is one of them sports, man, where a lot of things happen behind the scenes that you never know. You know, the game sometimes you get tired of people saying baseball is boring, baseball is boring, baseball is boring, which means if I'm a player, I gotta be the greatest hitter, the greatest thrower, whatever I gotta be to make the game interesting. Because, mind you, the Gorham for the Nets last year, he had an ERA for I want to say 40 plus games of 0.85, which people that didn't even watch baseball, they were happy, right, to see him pitch. But people was like, baseball's still boring. So what excites people? Scoring runs. Yeah. So and you know him doing drugs was influenced by, you know, you get tired of hearing that stuff. Even when I played, I got tired of hearing that stuff.
He said it was a ringworm cream that got him caught up. That's what he said it was.
Yeah, so. Grown man, huh? He playing in the sandbox, huh? So.
I ain't heard of ringworm since. Since I was about 6, honestly.
Exactly, bro. Playing in the sandbox. Making sandcastles.
I really can't believe it. I really, you know, I'm very embarrassed that this is even a thing that, you know, there are reports that Fernando Tatis' father said the failed drug test came from a fungus caused by ringworm and all that. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Just take your penalty.
Be honest.
Just take the penalty. You know what I mean? Like, because we know certain folks, if you get caught doing PEDs, you are never getting into the hall. And it's only a certain group of people for some reason that they just, once you caught, yeah, it's over for you. Fernando, you fall in that group, my boy. If I was you, I would fess up, smile, hey man, things happen. You know what I mean? It happens from time to time. Josh, what you thinking about this suspension and PED use?
I'm going to go in the complete opposite direction. Baseball is a dying sport.
Whew.
And honestly, as far as mainstream exposure goes between how well both teams in New York have done this season and the monster roster that the Padres are putting together, this is the most mainstream coverage that I've seen baseball get since about 2016 when the Cubs went on that playoff run. If you want to save baseball, Fernando Tatis Jr. is what, 24?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think he's top 5 in the league in home runs. Not even the National League, the entire league in home runs. On defense, he's one of the most exciting shortstops. He's not going to win a Gold Glove by any measure, but he put some exciting plays on at that position. Go ahead and let him do some PEDs.
You know, I have long argued this. I have long argued that like baseball they hurt themselves with this stop doing PEDs nonsense.
So I love baseball. I love seeing the small details in the game, what makes baseball baseball. But that's not going to sell tickets. It's not 1932 and all the announcers don't sound like Johnny's rounding second. That's not going to sell you tickets anymore.
Hey, hold on. We not about to act like Guyton didn't just do that voice perfect. We not about to sit here and act like Guyton didn't do that voice just perfect, bro. Hold on, man.
This is the man who clearly grew up with some baseball. He just took
us back to 1932 with the nah, bro. No, we not about to act like
that was a pure pre Jackie Robinson voice right there. That's what it sounded like. That's what it sounds like.
So if you want to sell, even if you just talk to the casual person, why would a person flip channels, or why would a person want to see? If you look, do any of y'all follow the MLB, ESPN, Sports Center on Instagram?
I don't follow MLB, the baseball thing on ESPN.
But we know that like Instagram is slowly turning to TikTok. All you see on there is reels. When you look at the clips from this time of year, because there's no football, there's no basketball. All of their clips right now are either pro wrestling related, and their fans are going to stay their fans, or it's baseball. And what sort of baseball stuff you see right now? It's some
home
kid
runs and strikeouts.
It's some kid in the stands eating hot dogs. It's some girl that's catching a ball. Rarely do you ever see something that's actually related to baseball. That's actually related to the game. You know why?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to see a bloop single over second.
Yeah.
Let them boys do their PEDs, and when Aaron Judge home run totals go from 50 to 110, then maybe you might sell some jerseys and sell some tickets, and we might see mainstream baseball coverage. You might not go in the potential of having a strike with your players' union every 70 days.
You know, I would like to see 101 mile an hour cutter. I would like to see it. I would love to see
that.
I'm gonna tell you. This
my arm gonna fall off, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Are they gonna be around to like revel in that when they're 50? Of course not. But I'm gonna tell you, if you ask me, can bring back the 5 best memories or the 5 most memorable moments of baseball in your lifetime, number 1 for me would probably be that umpire Robin Galarraga, the perfect game. That'd probably be number 1.
I cried that night.
Number two, I promise you, as a kid, I was not into all sports that like I was like a teenager and as an adult. Like it just wasn't really my thing. As a kid, I was into football, basketball, hockey, in that order. Those are only 3 sports I cared about. When I found out that like Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa had that like home run battle going back and forth, like I was a kid. I did not know what home runs were or why they mattered, but everybody at the barbershop, every time I went, they were talking about, oh man, who homered? And I was like, what does homer mean? And like that's when I had to like learn about baseball in a little bit in that respect. And I remember because I was young, I was like little, and like my barber was talking about, yeah, they going jack for jack. It's just every time you look up, somebody hitting one out. And the third one would be I'm gonna just go 3. The third one would be Barry Bonds breaking a home run record.
Yep.
2 of those moments can be directly contributed to PED usage.
Yep.
Listen, baseball, lighten up. Stop taking yourself so serious. I mean, like, come on now. Come on now. Aside from these things, what is exciting about baseball? Y'all announcers saying something crazy and Nick Castellanos happening to hit a home run at the exact same time, which he's done like 3 times in his career, apparently. Very interesting. But anyway, what else do y'all got going on?
Man, wouldn't y'all like to see a hat trick? Wouldn't y'all like to see a hat trick, man?
I'd like to see... I'd like to see more guys hitting the cycle. I'd like to see it.
Man, dude, people don't even know what a cycle is. If you don't know what a cycle is, it's a single, double, triple, and a home run all in one game. That, you know how rare that, like, if you saw those more often, it'd be like, bro, this guy hit a cycle?
I'll tell you, if Curtis Granderson was juicing, I'm 100% sure he could have did it.
I feel like when I first started watching baseball, early 2000s, we was seeing a cycle every 2.5 weeks.
Right? It was so normal. And now it's just like, yeah,
everybody was.
no.
We had who was some people that played for the Tigers, some old school players. We had Bobby Higginson was hitting for the cycle.
Hey, listen, again. I'm not saying that like there's absolutely no regulations and like no like paying attention at all. But like at the end of the day, again, when most people think back, the MLB is running into the same problem as the WNBA. And this is how y'all know I'm not like a horrible human being who hates women. They both had the same problem of they're doing things to intentionally undercut how exciting their game is, how exciting their game can be. That's stupid and that's backwards. Y'all need to go ahead and make a way for everybody to have this thing be as exciting as possible. And I'm sorry, having your players do a little bit of SARMs, if that's what it's going to take to make people watch, hey, more power to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality, okay? But anywho, we know y'all tired of us talking about ringworms and PEDs and the long ball and tough times in Brooklyn as far as basketball goes against the best of times with, you know what's crazy? We really have, like, there has been more coverage of KD's saga than there has been the 2 New York teams having excellent seasons.
Right.
That's unfortunate. But anyway, we know y'all tired of us talking about that. But come on back next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.